Nothing is coming. I hate myself for even saying that. Technically, nothing too is coming, I guess.
There's nothing I have less interested in than nothing. Just yeah, I couldn't care less. I don't. This guy is not interesting. His company's not interesting. This product is not interesting. I don't understand why anyone pays attention to these people. But
If you have no idea what we're talking about, you've missed nothing.
exactly, kind of like our podcast in general, really.
And if you're going to go to E3 this year, you're also going to see nothing. I mean, it's not even E3, but apparently,
what do you call
according
this
to
thing? I know it's like the Homebrew Computing Club gaming show now. I mean, what?
well, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo are reportedly skipping E3 this year.
Yeah.
And I would rephrase that: Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo are probably skipping E3 forever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Microsoft moved to like a sideshow thing years back.
Sideshow Bob.
Yeah. Well, remember, I think they were over at the Nokia, whatever that's called now.
Yeah.
And then since I think, yeah, I don't know. It's just over. It's just Comdex guys, you know.
It just feels like the mega trade shows have seen their heyday, and now like smaller trade shows will continue to exist, but the big ones are. I mean, you can live stream anything from a phone these days. You don't need the infrastructure of CES to hold a keynote.
Just as it's nice to go into a Best Buy and get your hands on something big and expensive that you might not want to buy online, it's nice to go to a place and see some things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the last CeBIT, whatever year that was, and it was a much smaller show than it had been. That was sort of the European Comdex. And honestly, in its reduced footprint, I thought it was a good little show. Like, and I don't understand why regional things like that can't be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, CES, I think, has worn out its welcome about 20 years ago. You know, Comdex is gone, obviously. I don't know. There are rumors, you know, like this year we're probably going to see in-person events like Build and Ignite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Build in its heyday, I'm sure was 5,000 people, 6.
Yeah, but they also used to give away Xboxes if you went. I mean, it was...
Okay, so a reduced footprint Build, 1,000, 1,500, 200, whatever, you know, I think would be fine in the Washington Convention Center or whatever that's called. And then Ignite, same thing. I mean, there's no reason it can't take up half the hangar, you know, the aircraft hangar.
Instead of 15,000 instead of 35,000.
Yeah, I mean, people will still go. I wouldn't view that as some kind of a defeat. Any in-person anything after the pandemic is both a cause of celebration and a cause for alarm. I don't know, but there's nothing wrong with smaller shows, you know.
Yeah, they're quaint.
They're quaint. Well, they're manageable, right? I mean, the big problem with CS, you know, is like you would start at one, like at the Hilton or whatever it's called now, and you'd wend your way through the, you know, all the way down to the whatever, I don't remember, the South Hall and whatever else, you know, that was like 30,000 steps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a big day.
And if you took a wrong left, you ended up in Death Valley.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. It was always too big, always too big. So E3, I've not been to E3. I almost went so many times, but of course with Microsoft, kind of like, who cares? I mean, I would never go now, but I don't know. I like LA.
Yeah, LA's nice, great weather.
I have to go to LA. Yeah.
Yeah. Spotify continues to do sort of well. They have 205 million premium subscribers, but I don't think they're profitable yet. And so that's a problem.
They've never been profitable, other than maybe the random accounting quarter where it just kind of worked out, but they're not. Yeah. Yeah, I half read an article this morning about this because that's how we read now. We half read, and I consider that a success.
You've heard of half-assed. Now we've got...
Exactly. It's right. The combination of half-assed and reading. But basically, Spotify, not too long ago, back when they were buying Joe Rogan and everything else, saw themselves as kind of a Netflix, and they were going to have all this original content. And what they've discovered over the past 2 years, whatever it's been, is that that's not going to work out. Like, and the one thing that doesn't happen with podcasts on anywhere is that when you take revenues in as Spotify, you pay it out to artists to some degree. And we can, you know, everyone complains about how little it is, but they do pay out money to Spotify, and it's their biggest expense. And by the way, the reason they don't make money, that doesn't happen with podcasts, and it's never going to happen with podcasts. So Podcasts are a different thing, and so now maybe Spotify becomes more like YouTube than they do like Netflix, in the sense that they're not going to be creating original content or seeing this as some kind of a like first party major source of revenue kind of thing. It's just not going to work. It's just not the way the world is.
Yep.
Look at me, almost understanding an article I think I read, sort of. I don't know.
Proud of you. You're making
It sounded fairly clear that when I said it. I don't.
Big leaps and gains on the
to me anyway. Yeah.
On the Thurrott side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what else has happened in the world? Not much. I mean, it's a Tuesday. There's a Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition launches on console today, which I used to play that game a ton. So.
Oh, I wish I had known that. I ignored a request to look at it.
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry.
Rough.
All right, I'll
to the heart.
Sorry.
It's on Game Pass. I'm not going to be paying for it. Well, I mean, directly.
Yeah, well, you'll pay for it, right? Sony slashed their pre-orders or their expectations for PSVR 2 by half to 1 million units, right?
Yes,
that's did. Weird. You would have thought something that was the size of a mortgage payment would have would have sold better, but
I don't know. Apple's betting. Well, reportedly, their headset's going to cost $3,000, which is the same price as a HoloLens. And
Apple has a slightly more affluent market,
not
to mention a slightly bigger market.
Yes,
than Sony. So, I think in the context of a thing that costs $3,000, it will probably do pretty well. I think it's also obvious a year and a half later, they're going to release one that costs a lot less than that.
Yeah, 2,000. 1,000.
2,100, yeah.
I mean, they sell a watch now that's $1,000. Well, I guess they initially sold, what was that first gold edition Apple Watch, like $10,000 or something dumb like that?
Yeah, that's right. And they got rid of that after 1 year, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I never, I've long now stopped complaining about stuff like this because you never know with Apple. Like, they could do okay.
They could release a foldable iPad that everyone's asking for. I don't know.
So, yeah, I took exception with the headline I saw about that. I think it was Gizmodo who wrote, Apple is finally going to release a folding iPad in 2024. And I was like, finally? Yeah, all those other folding tablets we're all buying up? Can you even name one folding tablet?
Is it
I don't
Galaxy
think there's any such thing.
Fold?
Is there? No, I mean a tablet, not a phone, but like a
Oh,
tablet.
I don't even know. Well, is that
That's what I mean. I don't think there is one. Nobody's harping on Apple for being late to the folding tablet market. I mean, they're a little late to the folding phone market, but Apple, right? They'll probably nail it when they finally jump in. I wouldn't worry about that either.
I still don't know if I want a folding phone.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean,
I like the idea of it. Whether that translates, I guess.
I like the idea of drinking without hangovers, but there's some realities that just aren't going to materialize, Paul.
Well, it is still barely dry January, Brad. It's not too late to start. I don't know. If I had a folding iPhone, assuming it was thin enough, and would I just stop using an iPad because now I have this thing I can read on that's comfortable to read on, and maybe. The problem is that thing's going to cost like $2,000-$3,000, so it's not exactly saving anybody any money, but nor does it exist, I guess. So what's the difference? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still not on the folding bandwagon.
I did one of the goofy things about the Apple ecosystem. I don't know if you ever encounter this. Like when I'm home, I will leave my house and I'll drive to the gym. And actually, that's pretty much the only place I go. And then one restaurant. That's my whole life. Like I don't do anything. But when
three
I'm
geolocations.
Yeah, exactly. I do nothing. So, but when I'm away, like I'll travel, like I was in Boston this past weekend. I go to Mexico or whatever it is, and I bring my iPad and a laptop, right? And I'm some other place in the world. And when I leave that hotel or my friend's house or my apartment in Mexico City, whatever it is, and I go out into the world with my iPhone, I'll get a notification that says, "Hey, you left your iPad behind. Is everything okay?"
Yeah, I get
and
that.
It's like, you've seen this, right?
Yep.
So yesterday I brought up a MacBook Pro that I have just to bring it up to date on the OS or whatever. And it brought up a little thing because I've been going back and forth, iPhone, Android, I'm back on iPhone. And it said, "Hey, would you like to associate this phone number with FaceTime or whatever?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, fine. That's fine." So I clicked yes. So I went to the gym yesterday, driving down the street, my little wrist thing goes. I look down. It says, "Hey, you left your MacBook." I'm like, "I'm at home." What? Like now I'm getting a freaking message about my MacBook that I never use. I don't care. I don't. So this is the thing, right? This is what Apple does. There must be a way to say, "Hey, I don't care about this," right? It's sort of like there's certain notifications on my watch, like I just don't. It does a little bedtime thing, which I find to be very loud. I'm usually in bed when it happens. It does the little Rockabye Baby song or whatever.
You don't have your watch muted?
That's the thing. I don't like. To me, it's like when that thing happens, I should be able to long press on it or something and say, "Don't show me this." I know there's a way to turn it off in some infinite menu that they have, in some app.
If I sent you a text right now, would your watch go bing?
Yeah, yes, it would. Because and here's the other thing I don't like about that, by the way.
You can turn it off.
Of course you can turn it off, but here's what I don't want is not to get the notification. So
No. You can turn.
No. I understand. Listen, hold on. I'll let you. I want you to complete this thought, but I just want to say the way I want this to be is I want the notification on both places.
Yeah.
I know. See?
Oh wait, you want your phone to vibrate and your watch to make a noise?
What you're telling me is I could say, "Don't show me this kind of notification on the watch," and if I do that, it will appear on the phone. Is that right?
I don't know about that one, but you can stop the dinging.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind like the buzzing without the dinging because it makes a really loud ding sound.
Just swipe up from the bottom, Paul Thurrott.
Okay.
See the bell?
Thank you for treating me like a child.
You tap it and it'll turn red with a line through it.
So that turns off the sounds.
Yep.
Huh. You know what I like about these icons is some of them are hilarious. Like there's one that has two little masks. It looks like the cover of the Motley Crue album.
Theater Mode.
Theater of Pain or whatever. Theater of Pain. What is that? Is that? I don't even want to touch
theater
it.
Mode. I couldn't.
Theater mode. Yeah, because I'm always holding up those eyeglasses when I'm at the theater, and I need that mode on. The Apple market is a little different from what I'm used to. Is there like a wrestling mode? Something basketball?
I'm not even going to comment.